Good. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the world. My name is Jordan Reyes, and today we are going to be going over some of the news going on down south in our beautiful country of Mexico. We got some exciting news today. See, the United States is not happy with Mexico. The United States is not at all happy with Mexico. Why? Well, news today, yesterday, we spoke about how the Mexican judiciary system was changing for the better. Because now judges will be directly elected. Um, Throughout some news today, we found out how some of these judges will now be presiding over trials down in South Mexico. We had a bunch of United States senators speak out against this. If I can find these news articles, I think it was Ben Cardin. I'll get that for you. Ben Cardin. Yes. So, according to the one second.
David's crying.
Why is he crying?
Because he destroyed his tower for this.
Tell Carla nothing to help him build it again. Alright, apologize for that interruption. Those are my children. So we have a bipartisan Senate group. I'm going to link all these articles down in the description below. We have bipartisan Senate group alarmed over Mexico's reforms proposals. We have a couple of United States senators who should stay out of Mexican affairs. This is not your country. You didn't even fix the problems in your own damn country. And you're going to go speak of another country's? This is none of your business. This goes out to you, Ben Cardin. Who else would he have? Alright, so according to The Hill, this article, this came out yesterday. Yeah, this came out yesterday by Rafael Bernal. It says, and it states, Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chair Ben Cardin, I don't know, what is it, a Democrat from Maryland, and a ranking member, James Risch from Idaho. They got together with top senators in the Western Subcommittee. They got the chair, Tim Kaine and Marco Rubio from Florida, on a joint statement calling on Mexico to consider the ramifications of its institutional reforms. Why don't you guys mind your business? Why don't you guys mind your own country, your own states? Maryland, Virginia, Idaho, Florida. I'm pretty sure you guys got some fucking issues. Why are you guys meddling in Mexican affairs? Stay out of it. And it says including, so they think that the new judiciary way of choosing judges is going to affect the United States, Mexico, and Canada trade agreement, also known as a USMCA. Which, to be honest, it's what I think is happening is these guys are getting pressured, or by private interest groups, private corporations, investors, whoever wants to continue to contribute to reap the benefits from Mexico, from being untaxed, not having to pay their fair share. So that's why they're trying to get rid of this, or they're trying to push this agenda onto Mexico. We got a quote here. One of the senators wrote, "An independent and transparent judiciary is a hallmark of any democratic country. We are deeply concerned that the proposed judicial reforms in Mexico would undermine the independence and transparency of the country's judiciary, jeopardizing critical economic and security interests shared by our two nations," senators wrote. Why don't you worry about your own nation and let Mexico worry about their nation? I think if each party worries about their own nation, they can come together and form an agreement, or they can work better together. It says they are alarmed by constitutional reforms under discussion that contradict commitments made in the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. Well, this exact agreement will have a review by all three countries coming up 2 years in 2026. I don't know, to be honest, I think Mexico at that point in time might even pull out of this agreement. We also have here Lopez Obrador. His term will be ending on October 1st, whereas in the new first elected woman president, Claudia Sheinbaum, is going to be coming in. And she has said that she will continue with AMLO, which is the current president's work, his reforms, and his agenda. She will continue leading the Morena party and their associates, the Verde and I forget the other one. They will continue to, rebuild Mexico, and they will continue to revitalize and restructure Mexico's federal judiciary. Basically, the big change they're making, I will reiterate, is they want to make all the judges be elected by popular vote rather than being appointed. Proposing a further moderation of the one of the other propositions that the Mexican president, he wants to militarize the national police for. Currently, one of the biggest complaints is there is a ton of corruption being faced by. One second, a little interruption. Yes.
Can I just go back to doing
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Here's a marker. Oh, she's gone. All right, we're back. Jesus Christ, two Mexican. So we have the Mexican judges and the magistrates. They're against this. Um, and if we go on to here, I was reading there was another article where is it? Off-road blocking. There we go. So what happened yesterday, or I think the day before yesterday, was the United States Ambassador Ken Salazar. Once again, Ken Salazar, you are the ambassador. You are the face of the United States in Mexico. You are not a leader or a decision maker. You are nothing in Mexico. You don't have a say in their politics. They are a sovereign country. You are United States ambassador. You have no say. The United States is no longer the puppet master of Mexico. Mexico is no longer United States dog. And I think we have seen this. Talk of the cartels and the dangers. I want you to ask yourself one question. How many Americans are killed in America every year? And that's all I would ask you to try and answer for today. All right, if we go on to this article, I'll link it down below as well. It says Mexico's president declares a pause in the U.S. embassy relations. So Mexico's leaders, the presidents, are not taking too kindly to the criticism from the United States to their judicial reforms. Mexico's president has declared a pause in relations to the U.S. embassy, or with the U.S. embassy. So, what's happening is Ken Salazar is publicly criticizing his push to reform the country's constitution. How is it the United States sends this ambassador who's supposed to be the face of the United States as opposed to, let's say, smooth or strengthen relationships between the two countries? And you're going to go to this country and you're going to criticize its president and you're going to criticize their reforms and you're going to criticize their way of ruling and not expect some kind of backlash, not expect a reaction from them. They are the governing and the ruling party in their country. You have no say. You are not a Mexican, Ken Salazar. You are not in any position of power in Mexico. You are a representative of the United States. You are part of the United States. You are there to relay information to Mexico and back. You are a messenger. You are nothing and nobody to be criticizing this. Of course, you are entitled to your opinion, and of course, you are entitled to speak up for the interests of, once again, corporations, companies, and investors, and people who have been neglecting to pay their fair share of taxes in Mexico, which is coming to an end. They will make all companies and corporations pay for their fair shares. And we go on to say, how are we going to let the ambassador will disrespect? This is an argument between enemies. How are we going to permit that he opines that what we're doing is bad? Um, we're going to go over to an article. So I'm going to be watching this video and I'll be translating what Andrés Manuel López Obrador is saying. This is directly from his channel and I will link it down below, or at least a link to this video, whoever's interested. Change is coming in Mexico, people. So right here, the president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, is saying that he is being guided and they are doing everything according to the Constitution. Everything they're doing, all these movements, nothing is being done outside of the law. Everything is being done within the scope of what's allowed in the Constitution. And here he highlights the Mexican Constitution, Article 89, and we'll go on to see what he says. So he says the president has to adjust to the principles of non-intervention by foreign countries. And he has to find a pacifist solution to controversies. And then he says, and these are the principles which we are applying. Awesome, awesome. I love this president. He's saying, how are we going to permit this ambassador, Ken Salazar, with all due respect? This is an internal affair. This is a Mexico affair. How are we going to allow that he opinions or gives his opinion what we're doing is wrong? We're not going to tell him to leave the country. Never that. But yes, we need to read and look at our constitution, which is like reading the Cardin. And now he is asked, what is the relationship with Ken Salazar? And he says it's good, but it's on a pause. It's taking a temporary pause. And she asks, the reporter asks, since when? And he responds, since he declared this. And what is this? He's speaking out against the judiciary reform currently going on in Mexico. Revolutionary Mexican judiciary reform, where power is given back to the people. And this is what is really the root cause of this, a struggle of power. You have people in positions of top, and you have the people, and you have the power. Power is switching hands. These presidents, AMLO and his party and his coalition, that's what they're doing. They truly are representing the people. Revolutionary change that has not been seen in decades in Mexico. It's basically saying we're taking a break from each other. Think about a relationship. We are taking a break in the relationship. Hopefully. What a, says what a coincidence that at the same time that in Mexico, so he's saying what a coincidence that at the same time people or representatives of the United States are speaking out against this. What a coincidence that at the same time the Canadians are now speaking up and against this Mexican judiciary reform. And I'm going to take a second here and look up Canada because I haven't read anything about Canada, but we just go to Google, simple Google search, Canada, Mexico, hit up the latest news. Mexico pauses and Canada embassies over judicial. And I'm gonna link all these articles, every single article. It will be all down in the description, so you can do your own due diligence if you're interested in what's going on in Mexico, where power is being given back to the people. Mexico's president told reporters Tuesday puts the United States on pause with two countries. What pause? He does not elaborate on what pause would mean. Let's see, what did Canada say? I haven't read anything about Canada. I know the United States senators and Ken Salazar have been loudly outspoken against this judiciary reform in Mexico. Well, I can't find anything, but I'm guessing they're doing the same. So the United States and Canada are in conjunction on this. They're associated, he says. Together, so he's saying they want to have an opinion or they want to intervene in affairs that correspond to Mexico, which makes sense. It's like Mexico shouldn't have a say in the United States' internal affairs or Canada's internal affairs, and they haven't, and they don't. They keep their fucking nose out of it. So the United States and Canada, respecting the sovereignty of Mexico and Mexican citizens, Mexican parties should respect the sovereignty of Mexico and their internal affairs. Right here, he's saying where was this criticism coming from, and it's coming directly from Ken Salazar. One second. Wow, what a beautiful painting, my love. That's a rainbow, and that's the sun right there. Mm. Wow, what a beautiful flower. Can you make a dog? Let's try. Go. Children. Okay, go. Go with Melanie. He says the relationship continues. He says hopefully on their part, a ratification that we will be respectful of the independence of Mexico, of the sovereignty of Mexico. says as long as that's not being showed or demonstrated, and they keep continuing with their current politics, well, there's a pause in the relationship with the embassy. Everybody's trying to see what does it mean? What does it define? And now they're asking, is it the same with the Canada? He says, yes, yes, of course. They need to learn to respect the sovereignty of Mexico. It's not just anything. He says we don't go to them to give them what is it? Consejos, which is fuck, I forget it. We don't go to give them. We don't go to counsel them on their internal policies, on their country's affairs. So why are they trying to come here? Tell us they're trying to talk down to Mexico, as if Mexico is not capable. They're not going to come here, and we don't go there to tell them what's wrong and what's right. We would like for them to be respectful to Mexico, that there needs to be a reciprocated respect and respect to sovereignty. And now they're asking, is the pause with the embassies or with the national governments, or with the governments? And he said, no, with the embassy. Because he's saying that Ken Salazar is looking to speak. And he's saying, imagine he comes here. Like, it's not something personal. So we have maintained very good relationships, very constructive. But he comes here, and the president of Mexico takes him in, says, forget about it. Says, how is that going to look? And he says, and all of a sudden, he comes out to say, I came to give my opinion that you should not, the people of Mexico, choose the judges, the magistrates, the ministers, because like they've come to say, it's not democratic. So this is what Ken Salazar is saying. What if we have him and I receive him and he comes and he gives his opinion? This is not democratic. Now this complicates things even more. Yeah, but what necessity is there for him to come and say that? He says, it's better. Just pause. Let's let the time pass. Let us handle with our people and with our government, our own internal affairs. There needs to be respect. He says, as long as I am president, we are not going to permit this intervention. We're not going to permit any violation to our sovereignty. So, I'm about to leave office. His term ends in October. He says, I'm going to leave, but as long as I'm here, give me a second. As president of the people, how am I going to permit that we lose our constitution? One second. Bye. Amazing. What's up? Yeah, it's Melanie. Beautiful children. So he's saying, how can we stop the pause? And now she's asking, should they apologize? And he says, whatever it is, whatever they feel. He says, regarding to the subject matter of the constitution of our government and our application of democracy and our decisions that our government takes. Very important. Legal, what does it say? Legal, legítimamente constituido. So it's legal, it's legitimate, and it constitutes the Constitution. Well, they have to be respectful. Now they're asking about President or Anthony Blinken and the current affairs going on with Venezuela. He says, yeah, the relationship continues. There's no problem. We don't have a problem with that. He says, we're very friendly with President Biden. President Biden hasn't. Why? For what? What? They just need to understand it was an imprudence manifested the way they manifested themselves as speaking out against the judiciary reforms. Says any government has to defend their sovereignty of their country, of their people. And any government would defend their sovereignty. You see, Ukraine is defending their sovereignty, Israel is defending their sovereignty. Anywhere where sovereignty is attacked, it is the duty and it is the right of the country to defend themselves. And that is what Mexico is doing. They are defending themselves against this violation, this intrusion to their constitutional sovereignty. Just on top of it, the current or incoming president, Claudia Sheinbaum, is saying, yes, dialogue, yes, we can dialogue just on things that, about things in respect to our own country. And I say, imagine we're going to debate with another country about affairs pertaining to our country. It doesn't make sense. The lack of respect right now being given to Mexico. And I'll say this again, the United States is always, before it used to be isolationist, come World War I, World War II, fortunately it had to turn into an interventionist country. And I think it's always been driven by economic gain, economic interests, now, corporations, companies, investors, money-hungry people, greed has always driven the United States to intervene where we weren't supposed to. It's happening here, but they need to respect sovereignty of Mexico. Yes, because why are we going to debate the, the ambassador? He's saying, okay, well, all right, so if we're going to have a debate, or you're going to have to include, the United States and Canada in our decisions, because we have economic relations. We also have economic relations with China, so let them come from China. So it's also important. Now he's saying, okay, well, the Russians are important. Let the Russians come. To come, hey guys, hey people of Russia, of China, America, Canada, what do you guys think about Mexico's internal affairs? What do we do? Should we take the opinion of the United States and Canada? Because it sure as hell is not going to be the same as the United States, as Russia and China. So, but hey, let's bring them in. Let's consider them all. Come on, it doesn't make sense. What? It's not correct. Do you guys think that's right? Nice saying. Do you guys think it's correct that the people can choose their own democratically, they choose their own judges? Is that correct? Yeah, so let's ask them. I'm going to ask their opinion of Russia, of China, of United States, of Canada. Oh yeah, let's get all the ambassadors and see what they think. Yeah, what do you guys think? How should we rule our country? How should we elect our judges? Should we elect them by the people? Should the magistrates be elected by the people or not? Come on, come on, come on, come on. That's bullshit. The United States does not take into consideration any other country or its own internal affairs. And other countries should not take consideration of the America, this country, tis of thee, of Canada, of any other country for its internal affairs. So what's better? And now here he asks, here's the major change. So currently, the magistrates, the judges, the Supreme Courts are elected by the Senate. He's saying, what's better? That these judges are elected by the Senate or directly by the people? And now he's saying to the room, raise your hand. Those who consider it's better that the pueblo, the people, elect them. And you can see it looks to be like a large portion of the room has their hands up. 20. So there was 20 people that raised their hands who said that the judges and magistrates should be elected by the people. And now he's asking the same question, but do you think they should be elected by the Senate? Not a single hand, not one hand. Zero. And I say, those who abstain from voting, raise your hand. Zero. Ah, I really love this president. He's doing a good job for Mexico. Now we're going to go on to speak about what exactly we're going to call out these United States senators. 1 second, pause. Bubbles. I saw some bubbles right there in the pink chair up there. No, up there in the pink chair. Right there, the pink chair. Right? You look around. Point team, boy. Come here. I was trying to help him out. All right, then. Laissez-faire. Let it be. So we have Ben Cardin. We have James Risch from Idaho, Tim Kaine, Virginia, and Marco Rubio on a joint statement calling on Mexico to consider the ramifications. Them on top of Salazar. It's need to stay out of Mexico's internal affairs. It does not pertain to you. Worry about your own states. Worry about your own constituents. Worry about your own voters. It benefits you No way whatsoever. It benefits those corporations that are pushing you. That hidden money that funds your campaigns, they are the ones that pushing you to call on Mexico to halt this incredible judiciary reform. It's revolutionary. And I think on that note, we will end today.